Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan, and in today's video I'm going to do a little book haul for you guys. It has been so long since I've filmed any sort of anything for this channel. Life has been super crazy. I just haven't had the time nor the mental capacity at this hectic crazy season that I'm in to even sit down and film anything. I haven't really even been able to read. So, and I read all the time. I average 15 to 20 books a month, and I just haven't been able to do that. So I thought, as the summer months are hitting, I've been slowly purchasing some books since I've been gone, and I thought, what better way to jump right back into this YouTube channel than to do a book haul. So anyway, today it is currently Mother's Day. Actually, as I'm filming this, I'm super excited because my husband got me a bunch of books for Mother's Day, and I purchased some things for myself over the past couple weeks, and I've been hoarding them and not putting them on my shelves until I can show you guys. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. At the end of March, beginning of April, we did have a wedding back where I'm originally from, which is Louisiana, and back home there is a bookstore called Second and Charles, and every time we go and visit, my husband and I love to go in the store. You can get so many things for a really good price there. And where I'm from here in Kansas, this area that I'm in, we don't really have used bookstores within, it would take like 2.5, 3 hours driving to get to anything like that. And I've got 3 kids, I just don't have that kind of time. So I'm always spending money when I go to Second Charles. Short story long. So the first book series that I have to share with you guys is the Percy Jackson series. This series I have read before. It has been years since I've read this, honestly, like high school. I couldn't even tell you how long that's been. I'm so old now. Probably going on 15 years now since I've read this series. Disney did come out with a TV show, and I would love to sit down and watch that, but I kind of want to reread the book series first, so I got this. This I got in a set, and it was only $15 for all 5 books, and I thought that was such a good deal. There was no way that I could pass it up. I've been wanting to own the series for a long time, not only for myself, but my oldest son is 8 years old. That's really showing my age right now, that I do have a son that is that old at this point, but he's really starting to get into reading. He reads a lot of like The Dog Man, you know, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I'm trying to get him to read Harry Potter, but he's just not interested in that right now. But I think this is something that we can read together, you know, if he shows interest in it, and I'm really excited for that stage of his life to be able to share my love for reading with him, knowing that he's now starting to express interest in it. So this is not only for me, but it's also for him to enjoy as well, and I'm super excited to read these. I might do a reread like together. I mean, he's never read them, but you know what I mean? Like, I might wait to reread them until we're reading them together. But first couple books that I purchased. This next series I also purchased from Second and Charles back home. I know nothing about it. I don't. And that it's the Shadow and Bone series. Right here, there is a TV series on Netflix that I've seen for a while now. I've never actually watched the series, but I've seen it pop up on my, you know, things you might be interested in or recommended to you. And I watched the trailer and it looked really interesting, but correct me if I'm wrong, there's only 2 seasons and I don't think it's been renewed for any more seasons, and I feel like I've been told that it just kind of cuts off, which is dumb. Like, I don't want to watch a TV series that isn't finished and won't be finished, but it did look interesting enough that I did want to pick up the books. Not interesting enough to pay full price for the book series though. So I did get these. I got all 3, and I got these for $16 at Second and Charles, which was a really good deal in my opinion. Most of the time you get 1 book for that price, and I got 3. So yeah, couldn't tell you what they were about. Just looks interesting, just based off the Netflix TV show. So I can't wait to read these. This kind of feels like a fall time read though. So anyway, we're 8 books in. I have like a massive stack right here. This, oh, that's wobbling. This next book I got is really nostalgic for me. I read this book series several years ago, and that is Magnolia by Chrissy Cook. I don't know what it is about this book to me that just makes me feel warm and cozy, and I love reading it. It's based in the South. I'm from the South. Gemma and Ryder. So basically, Gemma and Ryder, their families grew up together, and they've always, like, their mothers have always been trying to push them together. Like, they want them to end up together in the future so they can really be one family. And they're not about that. And they kind of have this little, I don't want to say enemies to lovers thing going on. This is a YA, but like frenemies type deal. They've been very adamant about staying away from each other, and their moms keep pushing them together. Anyway, look, I am very bad at explaining books. I could look at a book, I could tell you I love it, I could tell you it's really good, but I couldn't tell you really much else about that, which I'm trying to get better at. But anyway, this is super cute. It's a YA. I think there's a second book that follows them when they're in college. I think they're seniors in this book, and then they go off to college. I don't own that book, but I was super excited to get this one. It is $2.95. This is one of those books that I pick up when I'm in such a big book slump and I just want something super short, super quick, that's just gonna, I don't know, make me feel happy. And that's this one. So $2.95, such a good deal. I have a couple other books that I got from there that are unorganized. I kind of want to do the Second and Charles books first before I move on to the rest. Okay. This next one I got, I believe in my little New Year's resolution or whatever for 2025 when it comes to reading, that I wanted to step out of my comfort zone, which my comfort zone is very much like, oh my eye itches. It's very much like I don't venture out, okay? I love sport romance, specifically hockey. And I love interconnected small town romances and some romantasy. I don't stray elsewhere. So I want to step out of that, and one of those is thrillers. Everybody loves them. I'm not a huge fan, but I thought I'd try something. So I found this book. It was $4.95, and it was called Shiver. Yeah, I'm trying to read the back. I'll just read the back to you. When Milla accepts an off-season invitation to Lee Roche, I can't pronounce this, but to one of France's most exclusive ski resorts, she's expecting a weekend of catching up with 4 old friends. Though she hasn't seen them in a decade, she's never forgotten the bond they forged on this very mountain during a winter spent fiercely training for an elite snowboarding competition. Yet the moment Mila and the others arrive for the reunion, they can tell something is wrong. Inside the deserted ski lodge, an icebreaker game awaits, designed to draw out their secrets and to remind them of Saskia, the 6th member of their group who vanished the morning the competition years ago before and has long been presumed dead. Stranded in a lodge with a looming snowstorm making each escape impossible, Milla realizes there's no one on the mountain she can trust, because someone will stop at nothing to find out the truth about Saskia, and if Milla's not careful, she could be the next to disappear. So, thought that was super cute. The next book I got is called Never by Jessa Hastings. I have heard a lot of things about this book. I know that it's a Peter Pan retelling. A lot of people either love this book or hate this book. I'm not like a massive Peter Pan fan, so I think I'm really gonna like this book. I believe, like, I've heard that if you like the Disney version of the Peter Pan story, you're not gonna like this book. This book follows more, I guess, the original Peter Pan story, but I don't know, I love the cover, and the back sounded really good, and I got this for sale for $5.95 at Second and Charles, so I thought, why not? If I want to try something out, why not pick up something when it's super discounted? So this next book I also purchased. The next 2 books, that will finish up the Second and Charles haul, and that's called What Happens After Midnight. This is by K.L. Walther. And I mainly picked this up, again, it was $4. Yeah, $4.95. I picked this up because the cover's super cute. And I don't really know anything about this other than it's super cute. Oh, I have seen a lot about the Summer of Broken Rules though. I might have to get that one too. But anyway, it has a sticker on it that I can't get off, unfortunately. But it was $5. I picked it up. Don't know anything about it. It looks super cute. The cover's super cute. I might read this by the pool sometime this summer. That's coming up. If I have time. I have 3 boys. I won't be sitting on the side of the pool, let's be honest. I will be chasing around 2 toddlers trying to make sure they don't drown themselves because they have no fear. One of them's autistic and the other one's not, is 2. Neither of them care for their health and safety. So there won't be a lot of reading books by the pool. But if I were to, this will be one of them. The next book I got is The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. I think this is like a small town, interconnected, standalone, based in Canada? Alaska. Anyway, it's just the first book in the series. Again, I got this for under $5, so I thought I would pick it up. This cover's super, super cute. I believe it was on Kindle Unlimited once upon a time, and when I went to go read it, it was no longer available. So I picked this up. I just have a feeling that I'm going to need all of them. I am a sucker for small town, interconnected standalones. Absolute sucker. You give me a good one and I can read almost all of them within 3 days. But yeah, this says Calla Fletcher wasn't even 2 when her mother took her and fled Alaska, unable to handle the isolation of the extreme rural lifestyle, leaving behind Calla's father, Ren Fletcher, in the process. Calla never looked back, and at 26, a busy life in Toronto is all she knows. But when Calla learns that Ren's days may be numbered, she knows that it's time to make the long trip back to remote frontier town of her birth to attempt to fix their estranged relationship. She braves the roaming wildlife, the odd daylight hours, the exorbitant prices, and even the occasional dear God outhouse, all for the chance to connect with her father, a man who, despite his many faults, she can't help but care for. While she struggles to adjust to this rugged new environment, Jonah, the unkempt, obnoxious Alaskan pilot who helps keep her father's charter plane company operational, can't imagine calling anywhere else home. And he's clearly waiting with one hand on the throttle to fly the city girl back to where she belongs, convinced that she's too pampered to handle the wild. Honey, I would be too pampered to handle the wild. Jonah's probably right, but Calla is determined to prove him wrong. As time passes, she unexpectedly finds herself forming a bond with the burly pilot. As his undercurrent of disapproval dwindles, it's replaced by friendship, or perhaps something deeper. But Calla is not in Alaska to stay, and Jonah will never leave. It would be foolish of her to kindle a romance to take the same path her parents tried and failed at years ago. It's a simple truth that turns out to be not so simple after all. So, anyway, I picked that up. Let's see. These next books are the books that my husband purchased me for Mother's Day that I got today. And I'm so excited about them. I actually just read these pretty recently on my Kindle and fell in love with them. Everybody asked what a bunch of us wanted for Mother's Day, so we created a little list for them, and these were on them, and my husband delivered. The first book is Metal Slinger by Rachel Snyder. This book, it was so good. I can't even, how do I put this? I have not stopped thinking about this book since I read it almost three weeks ago. This book was so good. It gave me everything that I ever wanted in like a will they, won't they, are they meant to be, are they not meant to be, is she gonna choose this guy, enemies to lovers to, it gave me anything that I've ever wanted in like a fantasy book ever, and then the ending was like, what the fuck? Like, what the actual fuck? The only way I'm not going to talk about what this book is about because I don't want to spoil anything, because I'm also really bad at that too, like knowing like when too much information is too much information. But this gave me everything and then just took it all away at the end. Just what the fuck is the only thing I can say. If you are looking for a really good book, this is the first book in a series. When I read this book, I had no clue that it was a series and that the series wasn't finished. So if you're not looking to start a series that isn't finished, then don't start this. But It's amazing. Like, that's all. I feel like I'm just absolutely spewing nonsense trying to tell you about this book. But all I can say is it's absolutely amazing. You have to pick it up. You have to. It's going to leave you on the absolute worst cliffhanger ever. And you have to wait until the next one comes out. But I needed it. I needed it on my shelf. And I need to reread it. It was one of those books that I read it and I need to reread it. Immediately. I haven't stopped thinking about it. The next book series that I have is another one that I just read super recently, and I cannot stop thinking about it. I really want to reread it because it was so good. I fled. I read through that book so fast that I kind of want to reread it and really just catch up on some of the details. But that is The Veiled Kingdom by Holly Renee. The first book is The Veiled Kingdom. The second book is The Hunted Heir. And the third book is The Rivaled Crown. These were so good. This book series follows Mira and Dacre. I think that's how you pronounce his name. It follows them. Mira is the princess of the king of Mermois. Honestly, in fantasy, like, the names of things, just everybody is aware that they're hard to pronounce. I could look up pronunciations. I'm not going to. But anyway, she is the princess of this kingdom that they live in, and she is on the run. She managed to escape her father, who is pretty abusive to her. He's an evil king, like, he's not a nice guy, and she's just trying to run away and just live her own life. That's all she wants. And she ends up stumbling into the rebellion of, obviously, the rebellion, and being recruited by them. So she starts getting trained by them, and all she wants to do is leave, but she ends up catching feelings for I forgot how to pronounce his name already because I pronounce it Dacre, but it's Dacre. That's how you pronounce it. For Dacre, and it's just kind of her story, her trying to leave her life behind and move on, and him, the son of the leader of the rebellion, is trying to take out her father, and they have no clue that the princess is with them. They're also trying to find the princess. They think that they can find the missing princess and use her against her father to lure him out, but they have no clue that he gives absolutely zero craps about her, and they have no clue that she is, like, among them currently. It is just so good. You have to read it. It's very much like enemies to lovers to enemies. This gave me everything. And anyway, if you've seen any one of my videos before, any one of the 5, I've only put out a couple, but if you've seen them, you know that I'm really bad at explaining book series. That's all that I have for you. If you have to, you have to read it. It's just so good. And those books are the books that my husband got me. The next books are books that I've been picking up here and there. And this book, of course, is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I know nothing about this. I don't want to know anything about this. Everybody loves it. I have heard a couple people say that they did not like this book at all. Yeah, so I very much judge a book by its cover and by its synopsis. If the synopsis doesn't get me like that, I'm not going to read it. So as I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone with books, I'm trying not to read anything. I really do want to go into blind to most things, because most things I won't read them if I don't go in blind, and that is one of these. But I'm really excited to read this. I don't know when I'm going to, and it's massive. Like, I can read a really long book. Most of the time it's on my Kindle. Like, I'm not physically seeing how long it is, but Quicksilver, Callie Hart. I did get this at Walmart for like $15. I feel like it's a really good price because this is $21.99 and I got it for $15, but super excited to read that one. My pile's too wobbly over here. The next book I got is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. I got this at Target. I don't really go into Target that often, and I know everybody loves Target, but every time I go in there, I spend a crap ton of money, and I'm a broke bitch, so I don't go in there often. but I did see that they had buy one get one half off if you're a Circle member, so I became a Circle member, and I went and got a couple of books, and this is one of them. I loved the Bridge Kingdom series by her. It's, to this day, oh god, what is it, top 5 favorite books I've ever read. And when I saw this by her, I just had to have it. And I really hope that it is as good as the Bridge Kingdom. If it is anything like the Bridge Kingdom, I know I'm going to eat this up, and I just had to get it. I know nothing about it. Let's read the back together because I'm just really excited. Okay. Bound in an unwanted marriage, Freya spends her days gutting fish but dreams of becoming a warrior and of putting an axe in her boorish husband's back. Freya's dreams abruptly become reality when her husband betrays her to the region's Jarl, landing her in a fight to the death against his son. I'm not even going to pronounce that name. To survive, Freya is forced to reveal her deepest secret. She possesses a drop of a goddess's blood, which makes her a shield maiden with magic capable of repelling any attack. It was foretold such a magic would unite the fractured nation of Scotland beneath the one who controls the shield maiden's fate. Believing he's destined to rule Scotland as king, the fanatical Jarl binds Freya with a blood oath and orders what Bjorn? It's spelled B-J. I'm so sorry. It's 100 degrees outside. My air just turned on. B-J-O-R-N to protect her from their enemies. Desperate to prove her strength, Freya must train to fight and learn to control her magic, all while facing perilous tests by the gods. The greatest test of all, however, may be resisting her forbidden attraction to Bjorn. If Freya succumbs to her lust for the charming and fierce warrior, she risks not only her own destiny, but the fate of all the people she swore to protect. I'm really excited for this one. Next, we have only 2 book series left. Their series. Super excited about these. This next series is the book series that got me into small town romances. My hair. Y'all, I'm a hot freaking mess, but I was just too excited to get these books on my shelves. I needed to get this filmed. And that is the Honey Mountain series by Laura Pavlov. I absolutely love Laura Pavlov. I'm not sure what order these in, but I have Ever Mine, Make You Mine, and Simply Mine. I got these all from Target, and the sprayed edges are just so cute. Anyway, I love this book series. I believe there's a new one coming out. I could be wrong because I went to, these are the only ones I had in store, and I wanted the other 2. There's 5, and it said pre-order the 5th one. So I don't know if that's been out yet, or if maybe this cover isn't out, but these are so pretty. I'm not one to get like real people on the cover of things, like, you know what I mean, like real people. So super excited when these versions came out, but definitely a good small town interconnected standalone series. Next book series I got, this is the book series that got me back into reading. I grew up loving to read. I read all throughout high school, like all the time, and right after high school until 2020, for like 5 years, I just didn't read. I was a new mom, a young mom right out of high school. I was trying to figure out my life. I was just way too busy and stressed to pick up a book. But during 2020, when things really slowed down and we were stuck at home, I got back into reading, and I got back into reading. You couldn't go anywhere. You know, libraries were closed. On my iBooks app, on my iPhone, was Fallen Crest by Tijan, I think. That's how you pronounced it. But anyway, I absolutely loved that series, and something about that series even now is just such a comfort read for me. I think during 2020, I think I read that series like 8 times. Like when I was in a bad headspace, I would just pick up that book series. I feel like I related a lot to the main character Sam, and I've always wanted to purchase them, but again, they had real people on the covers, and I just saw these special editions on Amazon, and I had to purchase them. So I have Mason. This is a little novella, it's super small, by Tijan. My favorite book in the series, which is Logan Cade. Look at that cover. Are these not like, is that not fucking gorgeous? I own the first book, which is Fallen Crest High, and then we have Fallen Crest Family, Fallen Crest Public, Fallen Fourth Down. I love this one too. And then my book 5, which is Fallen Crest University. I believe there's 2 more or 1 more. Fallen Crest Home and Fallen Crest Home and Fallen Crest Christmas or something. I'm not sure. There's 8 books in like the series. I own 2 of the spin-offs, and there's 8 books, and I own 5 of them. Maybe. I don't know. I know there's a couple that I'm missing. There's 2 that I'm missing. I'm not sure which ones. But tell me that these are not so pretty. I think that these might have to replace my Broken Bond series right there. Or I could just get a 3rd shelf. But anyway, those are all the books that I have. I'm super, super excited to put them on my shelves. And thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.